I talked in the last video about meditation making your mind fit for purpose. And obviously at some point you might say to yourself, well, I'm going to be an expert at meditation. And what happens then? The point is that there are a lot of other things that make our mind fit for purpose, but only in the moment in which we actually have that particular purpose in mind. What I'm thinking about, for example, is the extent to which psychology tells us that the central executive, which I mentioned last week, is engaged when we're learning a complex new skill, like when we learn for the first couple of times to drive a car. After we become habituated to driving the car, the central executive switches off and the routine becomes automated. Now, I have no doubt as well, during the summer, myself and my family were, for the first time in my life, whitewater rafting, and in those few hours, it was actually 2 hours long, in those couple of hours, I have no doubt that my central executive was engaged, because I was in flow, in probably more senses than one, being the only one to actually fall in the river during those 2 hours from 2 boats. In the same way, I reckon, although technology hasn't advanced enough to put a load of electrodes on top of somebody downhill skiing, that when you are skiing, your central executive is activated. Now, we all know, for example, that downhill skiers who are expert downhill skiers make mistakes. They become blasé. They become habituated. People who partake in extreme sports become blasé and habituated. Mont Blanc, just outside this window here, claimed over 20 lives this summer, most of whom were experienced climbers. Now, the great thing about meditation is that you and I will never become an expert at it. Even those people who have devoted their whole life to meditation get glimpses of what I might describe as the dark side of unfocused living on a daily basis. You can never become blasé about meditation because the horizons of the human mind are such that they will probably never be reached. But what meditation does is it enables you realize that you've glimpsed the dark side of unfocused living, and enables you pull yourself back from that dark side, which is in total contrast to the ordinary mind who lives in the dark side, and because he or she lives in the dark side, actually thinks that actually the dark side is fairly bright. The dark side is dark indeed when you realize just how wonderful life lived in focus, in purposeful focus and mindfulness can be. And that is how meditation enables us live the life that we truly would like to live most of the time. And that is good enough for me. It has to be.